Hi, thanks for joining me today on the MRExperience. I'm Gene, and today we're looking at a Polish aid MRE to Ukraine, but it's manufactured by Jomipsa. This is a 24-hour menu. This is menu number 2. This comes in at 3,891 kcals. It is a 2023, January 5th, 2023 manufactured, and a best buy before 2025 of December. Get a good shot of that right there so you could see it. Menu number 2, and it is a 3,891 kcal menu. This thing is heavy. It comes in at 1,935 grams or 1.9 kilogram, or for us Americans, 4 pounds, 4.2 ounces. On the back, we have the menu, and it comes with a breakdown of breakfast. So we have 1 cocoa powder, 2 peach marmalades, 1 pack of sweet biscuits. We have 3 whiteners for coffee with sugar. We have 3 sugars on top of that if it's not sweet enough, and 3 coffees. For lunch, we have 2 apple paste, 1 pack of crackers, and for the main, it's bean with sausages. And then for dinner, we have 1 peanut cream, 1 pack of crackers, and then 1 chicken hot pot main. For snacks, we have 2 salts, 2 black peppers, 1 pork liver pate, and then 1 cereal bar. And then for accessories, we have a pack of tissues, a cutlery set, 3 pieces, a toothbrush, 4 water purification tablets, which each one treats 1 liter of water. We have moist wipes. It says 3. Flameless ration heater 2, a cooking set, which is the Etspitz fuel stove, matches 1 pack, and then solid fuel tablets 6. So that's the picture of it. Let's get into it. See what we got. Yep, I sliced through some of the crackers. So they'll be the first ones we open. So we have crackers. All right, let's see what we have. We have whitener. 1, 2. We have napkins. Another whitener. That makes 3. Another pack of crackers. We actually have cereal crackers and regular crackers. There's going to be a lot of stuff to take out. We have a cutlery set. We have a coffee, hand wipe. We have our pork pate. We have another pack of crackers. We have our cocoa powder, another moist towelette. Then we have our peanut cream, which actually feels really weird. Gonna have to knead that puppy up, get it good. We have apple paste. We have peach marmalade. I'm going to have to take this out of the shot for a minute, just so I can get everything out. Our toothbrush. We have one of our mains. That one main is 400 grams. This is the beans with sausages. Then we have another 400 gram main, which is the chicken stew. We have our Etspitz stove with fuel tablets and water for purification tablets in there. We have our flameless ration heaters. We have another apple paste. We have our cereal bar, which is 40 grams. Another peach marmalade. Just right there for a minute. Then we have our sugar, 3 packs. Actually, 2 packs of sugar. We have our 2 coffees. Another moist towelette. Actually, here's our coffees. We have our 3 coffees. We have our 3 packs of sugar. We have our salt and pepper, 2 packs, salt and pepper. So that's everything. That is quite an impressive spread. There's nothing left in this bag. This bag looks wonderful. Nothing has ripped open and poured out. So we're going to be having for our breakfast our cocoa, just as they have it listed here, is exactly how I'm going to consume it. And this is all I will eat for the next 24 hours. So let me break this down into our breakfast. Stand by, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. And just for transparency, I've incorporated the pate and the cereal bar in with this breakfast because the way they have it in the menu is they list it as breakfast is going to be the cocoa powder with the peach marmalade, sweet biscuit, and a coffee. 3 coffees with 3 sugars and 3 whiteners. So we're not going to drink all 3 coffee packets just for breakfast because that will leave us no drinks for the rest of the menus. And one problem with this menu, this ration, is they do not incorporate more drinks. They give you 3 coffees, 3 sugars, 3 whiteners, and then that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify this meal a little bit. Is we're going to incorporate the snacks, which is breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. We're going to incorporate the breakfast and snacks, and then we're going to have lunch and dinner. So that's how we have it laid out right now. And I'm going to have 1 coffee with every meal. And just for transparency also, we're going to add the coffee and cocoa to this breakfast. So we're going to make a cocoa cappuccino or mochaccino. So we're going to first start off with the whitener for the drink. This whitener has already sugar incorporated. Then we're going to, I'm going to leave the sugar out and see how it is. And these already have nice tear notches in them. So let's take a look at this coffee before we dump it. It is a very fine, it looks like a spray dried coffee. And there's not much in there. There's only 3 grams. So it's going to be very light cup of coffee. And then we're going to also incorporate our cocoa powder. So we're going to make a mochaccino. Okay, and the cocoa powder is 20 grams. And we're going to make a light cup at first. Hot water. And we'll see how that comes out. That's actually looking really good. That smells fantastic. I'm getting a nice cocoa smell. If I remember correctly, last time I had this menu, the cocoa was good. It's, you know, American cocoa, very overly sweet, very rich, very creamy. This almost tastes like a watery chocolate, but it's not sweet. It's like a dark chocolate. So we might have to incorporate that other sugar. But let's See how this comes out. Give that a taste. That's actually really good. We don't need the sugar. All right, so I'm definitely not using this cutlery set because these are horrendous. They really are. I get it. This is an 8 package, but that is horrendous, those utensils. And more often they break, and then you're fumbling around trying to eat your meal. So cereal bar, they put the tear notch right in line with the food. So I don't know how you're supposed to open this, but we're gonna open it a different way. All right, and that cereal bar, that actually smells really good. Look at that. That actually looks pretty good. And let's see what we got in here. We got gluten-free oats, rice, syrup, almonds, raisins, sunflower oil, cocoa butter, flax seeds, sesame seeds, puffed rice, and then it may contain traces of nuts, peanuts, and soy. Looks pretty good. That looks like a pretty good cereal bar. We're going to incorporate our pate. This was one of the snacks, and that smells fantastic. That really is good pate. We got our peach marmalade, and I tell you, these are another horrendous act right here. Trying to get these open, good luck. And this stuff is liquidy, very liquidy. One peach marmalade. It's 2 peach marmalade. You know, I get it. They don't want these peach marmalades popping in the bag, but they really should be able to give you an easier way to open these. They actually look like they shrunk a little. And we're going to need some tissues here. The tissues are unique. They give you a good amount. And I like that they come in a little waxed paper satchel. And you get 10 tissues. And they're really not that bad. I mean, they're pretty decent tissues for what they are. Nice sized. And they look pretty good. All right, and the biscuits, I believe we sliced these open when we opened them. Yeah, right here. And we're going to start off with 3 because they do give you a lot. All right, we're going to put this on the side. All right, and there we go. We will not be using that cutlery set because that thing is horrendous. I'm using a good old-fashioned butter knife, and we're going to start up here. So let's get some peach marmalade out on these biscuits and enjoy this. It's a firm marmalade, and it is very flavorful. So that's good enough for now. Let's start. This pate is very good. It's more like a luncheon meat than a pate. It's not very irony. Has a very pleasant ham kind of taste. And it goes well. I think it's going to go well with the biscuits and the jam. So let's give a taste to the pate. The biscuits are pretty firm. They're not like Panzer waffles. Let's give this cereal bar a taste. Semi-soft, not too soft, but not super hard either. The cereal bar is really good. It's not overly processed. The oats have a really good subtle flavor, and it's not overly sweet like American cereal bars where it's mostly sugar and honey. This is more, you're getting more of the oats, and I get a lot of flavor from the almonds. This is enjoyable. All right, let's plate up the rest of this jam marmalade. The marmalade's really good. It's a little runny, as you could see. There's a good amount of liquid in there, but I think that adds to it. Probably just a little liquid separation, but that's okay. I think it adds to it. And it's a very high quality marmalade. Very natural flavors. There's not a lot of overly sweetened, no sugar probably added. And I think we're going to need one more biscuit. Okay, and I think we're going to finish this pate up on these biscuits. This is a pretty decent breakfast, if you ask me. If I was in the field, this would suit me just fine. Probably went a little overboard on this guy, but that's okay. No, we did all right. This is pretty good. I don't want to waste any of it. All right. That's all finished up. And this was a 80-gram tin. Not bad. Let's take a couple bites and enjoy this. The cocoa and coffee go nice together with the whitener. Got a little separation on the bottom. We'll give it a little stir to incorporate everything. Cereal bar is good. I like the pate a lot. They go well with the sweet biscuits. The marmalade go fantastic with the sweet biscuits. I'm going to finish this up off camera. I don't think there's too much to say about these items. And the cocoa was very nice with the whitener and the coffee. The coffee seems a little light. They only give you 3 grams. It's a spray dried, and there's not a lot of it. And it's not a very rich, bold coffee, so there's not much of it to go around. And then because you have to add it with less water, it doesn't become a very strong cup of coffee. So I guess it's better than nothing, but let's stand by. Let me finish this off camera, and we'll come back to lunch in a little while. All right, we're back. This is going to be our lunch portion of our Ukrainian 24-hour menu. This is menu number 2. And for lunch, for breakfast, I incorporated also the snacks because it was pretty thin. But in our lunch menu, we're going to crack open a new pack of crackers. The last crackers were sweet crackers. These are regular. We're going to have one of the apple paste. I think it's redundant that we have 2. So I'm just going to have 1, and I'm going to save the other apple paste for dinner. We're going to have our coffee with whitener and sugar, and then we'll see if we need the other pack of sugar. We didn't need it when we made our army mochaccino. We have a packet of salt and pepper, a hand wipe. These are really nice. They smell very pleasant. And then we have our 400-gram main of beans with sausages. And we have the FRH that is provided. These are really good. I mean, look how thick that heating element is. This thing rock and rolls once you get started. So let's open this up and get this going. I like how roomy the bag is. If you wanted to throw multiple items in here, you could. I'm going to make sure I get that FRH centered on the meal because the meal is quite large. And the main, that FRH pad is a little small for comparisons to the menu, but it does deliver really good heat. So I'm going to get that centered up, kind of push it in. It'll probably move once I add the water, but either way. And you got to be quick with these because they do take off. Of a relief valve because these things do take off. Right, let's get that centered. Put it down. Put it right over here because that thing will take off. It's already starting to get warm. And we'll just give that a little slice right there because that will create a lot of steam. All right, so for our coffee, they only give us one pack. It's a very small pack, 3 grams. Give a little more. It goes to the morale. And this is a spray dried, very fine powder. It does have a nice roasted smell, but there's just not enough of it. So we're going to have to make a very small cup of coffee. And why they give you whitener with sugar in it, I don't know. So this is going to be a small cup, a couple ounces, maybe 3 or 4. And you know what? We're going to give these horrendous utensils a try, just so we can say we tried them. I'm not a fan of these. They often break. They're very cheaply molded. One side is hollow. See, they're all hollow. Like you could have put a little more. Look at that thing go. Whew. And it does stink. It's nowhere near the smell of American MREs. It does have a very offensive odor. All right, this coffee is looking pretty good. Break out some napkins. I like the pack of napkins. Looks like a weak cup, but at least we have a drink. All right, let's give that a taste. Wow, talk about weak. Very weak. Doesn't need the extra sugar. So we're going to put that right there. Let's open up our crackers. We'll start off with 4. Place them right there. And while that's warming up, which that is very hot, I'll give that a little mix. What I noticed with these heaters, every time you kind of disturb them, they kind of get angry and you'll hear them take off again. Yeah, that's heating up very nicely. And these heaters will go for a good solid 15-20 minutes. Let's open up our apple paste. You gotta be careful with these because it is liquidy, so if you tilt it, it will run on you. Now let's see if we can get this all the way around. Maybe not. What am I catching? There we go. All right, let's get some crackers jammed up here. So we're going to break this up a little. Maybe 3 sections. Do one there. Do one there. And the last one. That's a very good apple paste. Doesn't taste overly processed. Not too firm. Nice and spreadable. I do see some fibrous material in there. Probably some added pectin for fiber. This one looks like we got just the right amount going. And you got to make sure you use the right side of this, because in that divot, everything kind of just pushes in and gets trapped. So, wow, this is looking good. My mouth's starting to water a little bit here. Yeah, I'm not a fan of these utensils. These are like bottom of the barrel. I mean, you'll probably find better quality at a fast food station in a gas station. So, you know, really, I get it. It's an aid package. You can't really be sore about what you're receiving when it's free, but you're eating, you know. You should have something that doesn't fail you in the field, especially under stress. Give that a taste. Nice and sweet, not overly sweet. Let's get these utensils out of the way since we're not using them. And yeah, we're not using these crackers either. We already got a pack of our regular crackers. And let's wash up before we have lunch. Smell very nice. I smell jasmine. There are alcohol in these, so I wouldn't use them on your face. Probably an antibacterial agent, but they're nice and not too large. They're not too strong, so don't go crazy pulling on them, but they do smell nice, and they do have some type of lotion added, and they really do smell pleasant. These are very nice. I like these. All right. Wow, I can't get over how good they smell. We'll leave that right there. Maybe we'll get a second use out of it. This bad boy is heating up very nice. All right, let's give our crackers a taste. Okay, so first impressions. The crackers are not stale, they're fresh, but they just taste floury. There's no flavor to them. It's just like a cheap flour biscuit. I'm not really getting a hint of any kind of cracker flavor. The jam goes very nice on it. I suspect that these crackers are going to go nice with this if you crumble them up, throw them in there for some texture. But they're doable. I mean, for substance, some calories, something to put on your cracker or pate. These are decent. They're not very firm like the Panzer waffles, but they are firm. They don't just break. Let's have some of our coffee. Very light. Not much of a robust coffee taste. Kind of disappointing. But if it was between this and some water, I'd be happy. All right, that's heating up very nice. See how that thing got activated again? Wow, that is nice and hot. All right, we're going to give this a minute. I want to let that FRH utilize all its heat. And I'll finish this cracker, and I'll be right back. And it is smoking hot. Yep, this is beans with sausages. And look at that. That actually looks pretty good. Wow, and it smells amazing. And look at the size of that. That is a nice, hearty size main. Nice. Look how nice and warm that is. Just steaming up. All right, so let's give a little impression here. First taste. The beans are soft. They're not very firm. The sauce that it's in is it's overwhelming bean taste, but it's flavorful. I do taste some pork flavor, and it's very satisfying. Let's hit this with some pepper. And they do give you a nice serving of pepper. It's not over, but it's enough to cover the meal. And it is definitely lacking in salt. So let's hit it with some salt. And they do give you just enough. You get 1 gram of pepper, 1 gram of salt. I would have preferred 2, but let's try it now with the salt and pepper. That really does hit it nicely. The beans are quite large, and it looks like we have 2 different type of beans. We have a large flat bean, which, excuse me, I don't know beans, and we have a white long bean. So let's see what this looks like. The sausages. They look like little tiny hot dogs. Yeah, and it just tastes like a generic hot dog. It's very good, savory. That's a nice lunch. Let's cut these hot dogs up, or sausages as the meal dictates they are, and let's enjoy them. They're quite firm. You can definitely tell they're heavily processed, but they're very savory. Mix this up, get them incorporated nicely. The seasoning. All right, this looks good. And for my taste, I made my own picante. This is modeled after the MRE picante sauce. 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon chipotle powder, 1 teaspoon of onion, and maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon salt. And I didn't put any pepper because we already got enough heat here. There we go. Now let's give it a try. Also 1 teaspoon paprika, smoked paprika, for that smoky flavor. Yep, and that goes very nice with the beans. The nice smoky paprika. You got a little heat from the chili and the chipotle and the onion. Very good flavor. This is a very satisfying meal. Jomipsa never disappoints. Their drinks, different story, but their mains are always on point. Let's try a little cracker action here. See how this goes with the crackers. Yeah, the crackers don't do anything for this. They don't go well with it. They're kind of bland. They're kind of floury. They really don't add something other than texture, and the texture doesn't really do anything when it's incorporated like this. I think this is perfect. A little Tabasco. You already got the salt and pepper. If you add a little heat to this, it really makes it nice. It brings out the flavor of the beans and the sauce and the sausages. Jomipsa is a top-rated ration manufacturer. I think they do for a lot of foreign companies, a lot of European companies. A couple of African rations are made by Jomipsa. They're a top-notch company. That's it for the coffee, if you want to call it that, but it's better than drinking chemically treated water, so. That was a fantastic lunch. That really was. Even without the chili powder, that was very flavorful, very wholesome, very thick, very satisfying, and very savory. All right. Our apple jam and regular biscuit. Okay, well, that pretty much sums up lunch. Coffee was decent. It's better than not having anything at all or chemically treated water. The crackers, I'm not really feeling them, you know. They're just like a filler. Apple jam, it's okay. I mean, nothing to get crazy about, but they go nice together. And the hot dogs or sausages with the beans was amazing. That was really good. And the size of that portion, outstanding. All right, well, I'm going to wait a couple hours, and then we're going to get to dinner. Stand by. All right, we're back for our final meal. Our final meal is going to be a 400-gram main of chicken stew. This is quite heavy and hearty. So let's get that into the FRH. I'm going back to the sweet biscuits. I really don't care for the regular biscuit. They seem very underwhelming. We're going to have peanut cream, which is just a watery peanut butter. If you're used to the American MREs, this stuff is a lot more like a liquid than a cream or a paste. And we're going to mix it up a little bit here. I'm going to spike the coffee with a Bill's Brew because, quite frankly, I can't really. I don't like this coffee. It's very underwhelming. It's very dull. It's not very aromatic. We're going to use the whitener, and we'll see if we need the sugar. And we're going to spice it up with some Tabasco sauce. And I got 2 extra packets of salt and pepper to see what we need. So, without further ado, let's get this FRH going and get this meal cooking while we prepare everything else and enjoy the crackers. Get that powder spread out so it's all not clumped up in one side. Get our little clip, and I'm going to put this right on the side because this thing will take off. Let that water get in there. All right, and before you know it, that thing's going to take off like a rocket ship. get our coffee made. I'm going to go with our regular spray-dried coffee. We're going to spike it with some Bill's Brew. There we go, look at that. As soon as I rip that package open, what an aromatic smell of coffee. We're going to go with the Jomipsa creamer and sugar. Make an actual proper cup of coffee here. About 6 ounces. That's already smelling fantastic. This ration, I always like the Ukrainian because they are really good. The mains are first class, and they're very hearty, very tasty, very filling. All right, that's actually looking like a real proper cup of coffee here. And here we go. You can actually hear that thing taking off. Wow, look at that steam coming out of that. That thing is crazy. All right, we'll just leave that alone for a little while. All right, let's give the coffee a taste. Nice, very nice. Ah, nice, rich taste. We're not going to need the sugar. All right, peanut cream. This stuff is very watery. I did need it a good amount. It seemed like it separated a little bit. Wow, that stuff is... You know what? We're just going to have to... Okay. Let's give it a little try here. All right, it seems like it thickened up a little. Put a nice little blob on that. All right, that looks like all of it. Give that a little smear. Yeah, it seemed like the Jomipsa peanut cream, you got to really knead it up, because last time I had this, I thought I kneaded the package up pretty good, and as soon as I tore it open, it was like liquid, like syrup just coming out, and it was very quick. All right. These biscuits are so much better, the sweet biscuits. They actually taste like shortening. You get a very nice pronounced biscuit flavor. The biscuits isn't overly tough. For some reason, the white biscuits are a little more tougher. These are firm. They have a nice chew, but they break up nicely. Those biscuits go very well with the peanut cream. Very nice flavor. Very nice texture. That peanut cream's like glue. Literally glues your mouth shut. Finally, a decent cup of coffee. All right, last bite of the peanut cream with the sweet biscuits. All right, I went and got a bowl for this because I think this is going to overflow the tray. So let's pop this open. Get rid of that FRH. And let's get this in a bowl. All right, let's look at that. Wow, that looks... Oh, wow, that smells so good. Yep, I'm glad I got a bowl. That looks like that definitely would have overflowed. Okay. Wipe our hands here. They do give you a nice supply of napkins, and they're pretty decent napkins. They're double ply. Look at that. Who knew? All right, let's check this out. We got some nice chunks of chicken. We got some nice potatoes, beans, green beans. Looks like some carrots. Yep, some carrots. That looks really good. Let's give a first impression taste here. That's really good. I have a nice taste of beans. It tastes like this base is mostly like a bean kind of stew. We have the same beans we had in our sausage and beans. Plus we have some potatoes, nice chunks of chicken, green beans. I don't know if there's any red peppers in this. I don't think so. Yep, nice set of beans. All right, so without further ado, let's season this up and let's enjoy it. We got some salt. It's really nice that they give you pepper and salt. Most rations don't. They'll throw a salt packet in, but they forget about the pepper, which is kind of sad because it's all about improving your meal and boosting the morale of the troops. And I'm just going to dig right in and go right for some Tabasco. All right, that looks fantastic now. I'm going to save that bottle. All right, let's give it a little mixing. Incorporate all those flavors. All right, give it another taste. Wow, seasoning that up really brings it to life. And the Tabasco really brings out the flavor. Makes it pop. The chicken is not heavily processed. You can taste it is like a chunk. It's very fibrous. It's not like a processed cubed chicken. It actually tastes natural. The beans have good texture to them, and the sauce is pretty flavorful. Wow, this is really good. I just don't understand why U.S. rations can't go this route. This is a really hearty meal. This would be very welcome in the field. Although my one complaint with this ration is the lack of drinks, the weak coffee, and they should definitely throw in some kind of pepper sauce, Tabasco, what will you, or some type of chili sauce or powder at least. There's not a lot of potatoes in this. This is mostly beans. Beans, green beans. The sauce kind of tastes like it's a bean-based sauce, but this is very good. I know I keep saying that, but I'm blown away. You know, eating U.S. American MREs, something like this actually tastes like real home-cooked food. Let's have some coffee. Wow, after drinking the 2 cups of the Jomipsa coffee, they really went cheap. This, you know, Bill's Brew is decent coffee. It's nothing to write home about. But now having the Bill's Brew, wow, what a difference. We're almost done with this. This has been a very wholesome meal. So while we're finishing this up, let's recap our video. This has been a review of a 2023 manufacturer Ukrainian aid ration menu number 2. This is a 24-hour ration. We combined our breakfast of cocoa powder, peach marmalade, sweet biscuits, and 1 coffee with our snacks of, where's the snacks? Here we go. Snacks was pork liver pate and a cereal bar. We combined those. Then we had lunch, which was the apple paste, crackers, and bean with sausage. That was really good. I like that, the beans with sausage. Kind of reminded me of a British ORP. And then we went into dinner a couple hours later, which the peanut cream was really nice. My last experience in one of my other videos for the Ukrainian 24-hour ration was not memorable. The peanut cream was very watery, and I didn't need it enough. So if you get one of these, or you get a peanut cream in another Jomipsa ration, knead that peanut cream up really good. When you think it's good, do it for 5 more minutes, because I'm telling you, it makes the difference. And then we had it with sweet crackers. I didn't really care for the regular crackers. The sweet crackers are the way to go, but unfortunately you only get 1 pack of them, opposed to the regular crackers, the white ones, which are 2 packs. And then we're having the chicken hot pot, which is basically just chicken stew with beans. Okay, so that is our review. If you enjoyed this review, let me know. Let's finish our coffee. We spiked the coffee with a Bill's Brew from a U.S. ration, because the coffee in the Jomipsa rations are very, very weak. Even though they gave you 3 packets, it had the potential to be nice drinks throughout the whole entire menu, but those coffees were so weak that you really have to use all 3 of them in one shot. And then only 1 packet of the sugar and creamer. Don't put all 3 because you'll ruin it. Okay, I'm going to finish this up off menu, and I'm going to clean up. Again, I want to thank all my subscribers for watching. If you made it this far, like and subscribe. Also, check out my other video. I believe it's number 1. Menu number 1 for the Ukrainian ration. Take care and have a wonderful night.